Hey everyone. Today I'm just gonna do kind of a quick video. I've been reading the Benighted Path. This is the first edition, and it is a very good book. So, first off, I want to say I have gotten some complaints about the quality of my videos. People have been viewing them on high definition TVs. I'm going to tell you right now, I use a 4K Canon camcorder. I have it up to its max. I don't know if it's iMovie editing. I used to have Final Cut Pro. Quite frankly, I liked Final Cut a lot better, but my computer's a little bit older. So they just kept upgrading the system to the point where my MacBook Pro can take it anymore. So there's that. I would also like to tell people that when you put videos on YouTube, YouTube will actually pick the lowest definition to put your videos on there, largely because videos that are higher definition take longer to process. So YouTube is always going to pick the lowest quality by default. Now, the user can go into a video when you're watching a video and you can change that definition. But the problem is, if YouTube is already putting it out as a lower resolution, then that's really not going to help you too much. So I just thought I'd put that out there. I know people are kind of, peeved about it. I did a good comment where some guy was like, your video sucks on high definition television. It's all pixely, and I'm like thinking, okay, first of all, why the fuck are you putting it on high definition television? It's a YouTube video. It's supposed to be viewed on a computer. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you guys have suggestions on what I can do to remedy the situation, I greatly appreciate the comments. Maybe give me some tips, what I can do to kind of make them come out better. So the main topic of this video today is having to do with this, Benighted Path. It is by the author Richard Gavin. And as I was reading it, he talks a lot about man's dominions over animals and nature in general. So it got me to thinking, obviously this book is about the left side, the left-hand path, and the monstrous spirit, or he calls it the monster soul. Basically getting in touch with your darker, shadowy side. It's a very good book. But one of the things I wanted to touch on was the topic of animal rights and the left side. So can you practice the occult and be animal rights? First of all, let's look at the definitions of animal welfare and animal rights. Animal welfare is You can use animals as long as you look out for their safety, their welfare. This means you can ride horses, you can eat them, you just have to give them care and be respectful about it. That's animal welfare. Animal rights is you want animals to have personhood, and we're all animals, right? According to evolution, we are animals. So the idea is, why are we the only ones that have rights compared to other animals? And that is the main argument with animal rights. So animal rights typically is you don't use them for anything, sports, farming, etc. Circuses, entertainment, all that is considered wrong. Now, where I fall into is, I fall in kind of the middle. When it comes to mammals, I'm definitely more animal rights. When it comes to fish and chicken, I'm a little bit more welfare. The reason being, I still eat those animals. And ethically, the reason why I don't eat red meat is evolutionary-wise, we're all mammals, right? So we all came from the single lizard that grew fur on its back. And our DNA is intricately connected with pigs, cows, sheep, goats, whatever. And many people will argue, yeah, but there's mammals that kill other mammals, in the wild, like lions, for example, have no problem with killing another mammal and eating it. I'm not a lion. I'm higher in spiritual awareness. So I have the capacity to understand science and DNA. They have found human genes in rats, sheep, and especially pigs, as well as dolphins. So that's a moral issue. But having said that, I don't think chickens should be factory farmed and all that. I would like if people treated chickens a lot better. I always eat fish that is wild caught and pull and line caught, which means I don't support fisheries that use big nets and destroy the coral reef system. So I also eat only certain species of fish. I don't eat anything unclean like catfish. That's not even fish in the same sense as tuna. It's related to an eel. So, my diet's kind of similar to a Jewish Canaanite diet in that I only eat certain types of seafood. I don't eat crawfish, insects, things like that. I stick to fish that are scale and fins. So anyway, getting back to this book. You guys have to check this out. It is in a second edition. Now it has a different cover. I believe the cover's blue, and it still has the Medusa on it, but it's a different type of Medusa graphic. It's a little bit nicer than this version. So his stance on animals in the left-hand path is sacrificing animals is to him a part of the right-hand path. Now, I know people know that I am involved in Kumbanda. Traditionally, Kumbanda involves animal sacrifice. The only time that I think it's partially necessary, if you absolutely have to, is if you have a pact with the spirit and they demand it and there's no other way around it. You have to be careful with who you work with, in other words. When Jerry, what's wrong? My cat's whining. When I did engage in a chicken sacrifice with somebody else who was involved in Kumbanda, it was because I had payback Beelzebub. But Lucifer will never demand that from you. He's pretty welfare about things. So, you know, people do horrible things in the name of the right-hand path. The right-hand path has traditionally used dominion over animals, over the planet as a model, largely ordained by the Creator, the Demiurge, in the Bible. Muslims frequently sacrifice animals in a ritual they call Kumbani, I believe it's called. And Jews as well still sacrifice animals. These animals are put through some of the most extreme torture in kosher and halal slaughterhouses. When you look at more of like the right-hand path Afro-Caribbean religions, such as Santeria and even voodoo, the ones that work with the saints, the animal sacrifices can be 10 times worse than how animals are treated in Kumbanda. I was watching a documentary, Divine Horsemen. It's an old documentary about voodoo. And the way the animals were treated was absolutely appalling. I've never seen anything like this in Kumbanda, where they were taking the chickens and breaking all the limbs, and then twisting their necks off, twisting their heads off, and I just thought it was pretty gruesome. With the goats, they would cut the testicles off, mutilate pigs and goats before killing them. It was pretty disgusting. I've heard of Santeria being very similar. I know that Palo Mayombe has rituals where they crucify dogs on a cross. I've seen it myself. I haven't attended, thankfully, but I have seen images of it. So, people do horrible things in the name of the right-hand path, let's be honest. I do find that the left side is definitely more animal welfare. I mean, Anton LaVey of the Church of Satan said himself that the white magician would rather slaughter an innocent goat than offend their Jehovah by spilling their own seed. One can get these same effects through masturbation and spilling of your own seed, essentially. Similarly, a lot of females use menstrual blood in their rituals also. Yeah. So I agree with him that the left side is definitely nicer to nature, nicer to animals. So even Christianity has a history of animal cruelty. The Catholic Church deemed vegetarianism as a heresy in the Middle Ages. People who were vegetarian faced torture and burning at the stake. It wasn't uncommon for them to go after people that chose that diet. Many Gnostic Christians actually were vegetarian. And that was one of the main reasons why they were persecuted by the Orthodox Church. So I, thought about this, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do a video about this. So that brings me to my next topic. Can you be vegan and be involved in the occult? I would say it depends on what tradition you're involved in. If you are a Western magician, I would say yes, you probably can be. But if you're involved in Afro-Caribbean faith, you probably cannot be. Personally, I think it needs to modernize a lot of these Afro-Caribbean traditions. And that's just me. I think there will come a time when people stop doing this stuff. Really. We definitely live in a more rational society now, where religion is actually diminishing from people's lives. I read an article online about how the younger Hispanic generation is actually turning away from Santeria, largely because they're just not interested in it. The younger generation really doesn't care about religion and spirituality. So I can kind of see that decline happening. Anyway. But, yeah, I mean, if you're a Satanist or a Luciferian that's just doing it the Western way, I would say yes, you can be vegan, definitely. So, but keep in mind I'm not vegan myself, like I said. So, yeah. But even, I mean, I haven't met a lot of Wiccans that are vegan, even. A lot of them aren't. So, but, yeah, I mean, I've heard of some people that practice voodoo that choose not to sacrifice animals. I know there's a woman in New Orleans, you can look it up. She's a vegan voodoo priestess, and she's not interested in animal sacrifice, anything like that. I know she gets a lot of hate though from traditionalists. Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely practice the occult and be animal rights. But particularly the left side, I would say more so than the right side. The right-hand path is very human-centric, which is what Richard Gavin drives on in this book, is that the left side is more animal-centric in that it's about connecting with the forces of nature, lycanthropy, you know, werewolves, things like that, that give us part of our shadow selves. So anything that is natural is explored. And it's considered taboo on the right-hand path. It's taboo to experience nature on the right-hand path because the right-hand path wants you to suppress the natural world and our animalistic tendencies. So, yeah. So, anyway, I just thought I'd tell you guys about this. Please let me know in the comment section how you feel about the left-hand path versus the right-hand path in animal welfare / animal rights. Anything having to do with this video, be it how to have a higher definition video on YouTube, to even this book. If you've read The Benighted Path, please comment. Honestly, I welcome it. So as usual, hit like and subscribe. Thank you.